Yeah.
Hey, we are live. That happened more quickly than I anticipated. Hey, folks, thanks for tuning into the BAMF podcast. Here is my obligatory musical intro. Just wish you could all see Ross and Jacob dancing to that music. That little musical intro assures you, gentle reader, gentle listener, gentle viewer, that this is a high quality, highest production value podcast, ethically sourced, farm to table, geeky conversation for your listening pleasure. And with us today, we have Mr. Bill Keys. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Hey, appreciate you being here. I should probably mention that in your absence, Ross was singing the praises of the game room of yours that we see behind you.
Yeah, this is where we game.
He said you have a legendary and
had it built specially.
Game. Really?
Yeah. I had it built specially just for our games. Yeah. It was
nice.
Originally just a concrete basement, and we put in the walls and the flooring and the tables and everything.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Nice. And down here in the corner, we have Mr. Ross Watson. Ross Watson. Sorry, it's the rum. RPG writer, designer. He also sings an excellent baritone in a barbershop quartet. We can talk about that later. Ross, good to have you. And last but not least, Jacob Blackman, who actually is an artist who has some work in the book we'll be talking about tonight. So, Jacob, thanks for joining us.
It's a tiny bit of art, but hopefully if they do well on a Kickstarter, they can afford my prices.
Sweet.
Yeah.
So, Bill, tell the listeners at home a little bit about yourself and your company and this project we have coming up.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Happy to. I am Bill Keys. I've been a gamer since the first AD&D hardbacks came out, back in 80 or 81. And played D&D. I picked up Champion shortly thereafter, and I've always been a superhero gamer. I got my start in the gaming industry in about 2008, working with Hero Games, the creators of Champions, doing some of the layout and art direction for some of their books. And since then, I've written a lot of my own stuff. I've written a Savage Worlds steampunk book called The Widening Gyre. I've got my own sort of short line of, or my own line of short supplements for that are generic that could be used for just about any game called Cities of Wonder, that describe each one of them describes a single city or town or caravanserai or something along those lines, something where people live and work. And it's completely system neutral. So if you play D&D, Pathfinder, whatever you play, you can use these. And most recently, I published Nocturne by Night. I published Welcome to Nocturne, Blood and Justice, Welcome to Nocturne, which is a Iron Age superhero book, kind of a love letter to the comic books of the 90s, where everybody had pouches and gritted teeth and big guns and knives, because I have a whole lot of love for that sort of, that oeuvre.
Yes, even when they had superpowers that were much more powerful than guns and knives, everyone, for some reason, still carried guns and knives.
Mm-hmm.
I've known Bill for over 10 years now, and I've actually played in the Blood and Justice setting quite a few times. It's really cool. And I should tell you guys, I'm not just Bill's friend. I'm also a big fan because he's a hell of a world builder. Widening Gyre is amazing. Nocturne's amazing. He makes some really fantastic setting material. Hell of a creative guy, and I'm just excited to see what he's coming up with in this Kickstarter.
Yeah, I've actually heard some very good things. I run a small fan awards focused on superhero RPGs, and I've heard a lot of good buzz about this book right here. We were doing our catch-up session to get all the products that we missed during COVID years. We've been doing the BAMFCs for like a decade now, and a lot of good buzz about this book right here, Bill. So that is a cool cover too.
Great, thank you.
So latest book coming out on Kickstarter, actually, it looks like a couple weeks ago. Blood and Justice, Nocturne by Night. Let me get the Kickstarter up again. Mm-hmm. And for anyone listening to this on iTunes, you can get it quickly and easily, tinyurl.com/bloodandjustice. We'll take you right to the Kickstarter page, and I will share that. And I believe this is a villain supplement, right?
That's right. This is a big book of villains, and it was specifically designed to be used with Blood and Justice, but you could use it for just about any kind of superhero game using Prowlers and Paragons. The villains are, I think, they range in power from anything from actual gods to just sort of normal people with a few special skills and possibly carrying guns and knives. So you could use it for just about any kind of superhero setting that interests you at all. But yeah, it's been a labor of love for me. It's got 63 villains in it. And each one of them is unique. Each one of them comes with their own story tags, story ideas, at least 3 or 4 each. They come with their own background, history, their personality, and some details about how to use them in a fight, sort of tactical details, the kind of way that they behave in a fight.
Cool. That sounds really great.
And Jacob's doing art in the book.
And Jacob's doing some of the art, yeah.
See, you don't mind if I share your pieces, do you, Jacob?
Oh, no, go ahead.
Okay, let me go ahead and pull those up. This guy, well, you know what? I was going to make a joke, but maybe wondering if I showed him and then let you tell us about him.
Man, if only we could harness the collective power of our 4 foreheads, we would power a whole city block.
Just to have very mighty domes.
We could create a forehead singularity.
That's right. Look at this guy. He's cool.
He is. He only looks a little bit. Yeah.
This character was introduced to me as Mr. Crab.
Yes, Mr. Crab. He is actually part of a partnership, Mr. Crab and Mr. Stab. Mm-hmm. They are both immortals who basically hire themselves out as hired killers. They cannot die, or if you do happen to kill them, they'll just be back within a few minutes. And they like to get close and personal with their victims. They are always extremely polite. They sort of talk to themselves in this sort of faux British accent, talk to each other when they're on the job. And I think it's kind of horrifying, the sort of, their quote is something along the lines of, "Oh, why is this fellow crying, Mr. Stab? Oh, I think it's because you're choking him to death, Mr. Crab." So
if I was a vigilante of the night, not unlike Batman, I think I would just love the idea of an immortal bad guy. It'd be like a rage room. I could just take out all of my aggression on this guy and be like, you know what, I'm good. I feel much more relaxed now. It's so wonderful.
A gentleman's thug, indeed, Limey Dragon.
A gentleman's thug.
The way you described them reminds me of the bad guys from Neil Gaiman's Neverwhere.
That was my inspiration, actually. Yes,
that is just what I was thinking.
A lot of the bad guys. A lot of them are inspired by, existing bad guys that you may know and love from the big comics or from books or movies. A lot of them are unique, I think, but some of them are people that you already kind of have an idea of who this guy is.
Homages, you might say.
Homages, yes, exactly.
I like that this guy has 2 primary daggers and then 4 backup auxiliary daggers in case for any reason the primary daggers cannot fulfill the purpose. It's always good to have a fallback system. So, I'm guessing, given the plethora of bladed instruments he is carrying, this would be Mr. Stab.
This would be Mr. Stab.
This is the final form of the Blue Raja. When he does in fact become, he does in fact become Knifey Boy.
He does become Knifey Boy, yes. No, yes.
When he's run out of all his forks and spoons, knives are all he has left.
Yeah.
I tried to
resolve this. You'll notice that he's dressed as a gentleman, but in yes, he's dressed like a gentleman, Mr. Stab here, but it looks like his clothes are about 40 or 50 years out of date. Mm-hmm. Because as an immortal, he doesn't really keep up with the local fashions, the current fashions. And as it's his job to murder people. So that's
that-
that's kind of where he is.
Is that like an actual weakness? Could I like confuse the hell out of him by trying to tell him about TikTok trends?
You you could try. You could absolutely try. And they might be curious for a while because they're extremely patient.
That's a good quality in a hired killer, or so I'm told. Well, cool. Do we have any other characters we can talk about? Any other art we could look at, perhaps?
Sure.
That's the only art I've done so far. I'm sure they'll hire me for more later.
Well, Jacob did.
The power of Kickstarter.
Let me see if I can share this. Share screen.
Okay, let me.
See if you let me share this.
I don't have the option to share it yet, but I'm waiting with anticipation.
Bated breath.
Did you hit share?
Let's see if this works. Oh,
it's good radio right now.
clicking the
Good
locks.
radio.
Yeah, no. Maybe I can't share it. It says I have to restart. Well, I can send you some stuff, maybe.
Okay,
but
cool.
Jacob has done a couple other. He did the Duke of Nocturne. He was a vampire prince.
I did
the oldest
a while ago. Okay.
Quite a while ago, yes, quite a little while ago.
Yes, I liked that piece. That was a good piece.
Yeah, he's actually one of my favorite villains. Actually, he's as I said, he's the vampire prince of the city. He's one of the oldest beings who lives in the city, and he's also sort of like Mr. Crab and Mr. Stab. He's very polite. He's more than happy to share information with the heroes as long as they're willing to exchange something with him.
And we have some audience questions. If it comes up, there are a lot of great superhero systems out there. I understand there's at least one or two. Yes. I think P&P is an excellent one. What do you consider the selling points of the system? Are there places we can catch actual play games of Nocturne?
Well, I've played a lot of P&P. I can tell you that it flows very quickly. It's very flexible, and you can throw around big handfuls of dice, which is just so goddamn satisfying.
Yes, it is. It's absolutely satisfying.
Yeah, that was one of the things I loved about Champions was getting to roll the huge batches of dice. Whereas the downside of the Champions was it was on the hero system, which takes hours and hours and hours to play for any combat.
Well, P&P is much faster. P&P flows very, very quickly, and you can get in a cool back and forth with you and the game master about like what's happening on an individual page because it's kind of structured like a comic book. I enjoy it highly. So, oh, there he is! Look at that guy. He's got cool red eyes.
Yeah, I loved drawing this piece. This was a great piece.
I am a big fan of LeVar Burton, so I'm fond of this artwork.
Yeah. So he is the oldest vampire in the city, and he controls his city with an iron hand. But he's not all bad, just because he's a bloodsucker doesn't mean he doesn't love his city. So he's more than happy to help the heroes should the situation come up where he's needed.
Cool. So Carlos was asking about, are there any places they can see actual play games or participate in actual play games of Nocturne? Is that something we can?
We have a Discord. If I can find the link, which I cannot at the moment. We do have
we can put that in the
a
show
Discord
notes.
that. Yeah, okay. That might be the best way to do it because I'm having trouble finding it right now. But we have people looking for games and people looking to run games there. Let's see. Mike Serbrook, who's one of my partners at Mobius, one of the other creatives. He also runs a game, I think on a weekly or maybe a bi-weekly basis online, and he is more than happy to let people sit in and watch and listen.
And if you're ever in the Colorado area,
we are probably before the end of the. Yes.
If you're ever in the Colorado area, P&P is played at almost every local gaming con. Go ahead, Bill.
Yeah.
Sorry.
We run it there for sure. No, thank you, Ross. we also will probably be running one more game. Oh, thank you, Carlos, for putting that up there. We will also be running at least one more game for the before the end of the Kickstarter. So we'll, if you kind of keep an eye on our pages, then we'll put those up for you in plenty of time for you to watch them.
Cousin, their questions asking, what are your favorite cons? Are you all going to be attending any? What is your favorite con that takes place in a hotel in Grand Rock, Texas?
Well, ChupacabraCon, of course.
Well, yeah, there is a hotel, a con that takes place in a hotel in Round Rock, Texas. ChupacabraCon. We went last year. That was my first time going, and Ross had highly recommended going to this con. He said it was so great, and so we decided to take a chance, and we went to it, and it was a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
I need to apologize to Limey Dragon. I am sorry, sir. I overlooked your question that came out a few minutes ago, but here it is. Limey Dragon asks, what's the average power level going to be in the book for the villains?
The villains range in power from godlike or actual gods to just like a normal guy with guns. So it goes up and down the spectrum. On average, any of the villains here should give a team of heroes who are built on 100 points and 10 dice of effect. It should give each one of some of them are tougher, obviously. In playtesting, one of the villains, whose name is Huracan, who is the actual god of the storm, the players decided that there was no way that they could actually fight this guy, so they just they spent the entire session just talking him down from destroying the city. So yeah, it ranges. The power levels range from top to bottom.
Diplomacy is a valid tactic with an actual god.
When you're fighting an actual god, yes.
I remember that one of the first graphic novels Marvel did, was it called Day of the Colossus? Well, there was that giant Egyptian-themed villain rampaging through New York. And Spider-Man just said, well, I can't fight this guy, so I'm going to go investigate his tech and see what I can figure out there. And he went and hacked the teleporter system. So sometimes you got to get at the problem in a non-linear manner. So who is this dapper fellow we're looking at here?
This is... his name is Crypt. He is a sort of an undead zombie lord, necromancer. He raises the dead, but his shtick is that he loves singing and dancing and having a party. He's
a Thriller video.
He is like the Thriller video. although I will say I did not think of that until after I created him. everybody's like, it's Michael Jackson. But he kind of has a tragic backstory, but his whole deal is that being alive is so hard. You have to work, you have heartbreak and trouble and there could be disasters. Being dead is so much easier and so much more fun. And so he just wants to share the gift of death with everybody so that everybody can just get up out of the grave and dance and sing and have a party with him.
So he's like the Mask if the Mask was a necromancer.
Yeah, maybe so.
So Carlos says, for me, I was introduced to the PnP system at ChupacabraCon this past year in a game that I do believe in part featured that Vampire Lord. Very fun as the character is coming to this book.
Yes, Carlos, that was the Duke. You did meet him, and you didn't fight him, but they made a bargain with him.
Do they owe him 350 now?
If you're ever at a convention with Bill Keys, offer to buy him a beer and ask him about his stories about vampires in his con games, because he has a bunch of them.
Cool. So, Bill, you just shared with me this image on Facebook. Who is this young lady with the stylish boots?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice boots. Really nice boots.
Yes, her name is... Yes, great boots, right? Her name is Curse. She is a magical thief, and when I say magical thief, I mean she steals magic. She looks for people who have magical talents that she doesn't have or that she hasn't seen before, and she steals your ability to use magic. So Yes, she's she is covered with bling, as you can see from the picture. She has all sorts of magical devices, magic cloak, magic boots, magic amulets, to help her um, in her uh, in her quest to steal all of the unique magical talents of the world.
So what you're saying is, I need to create a hero who only uses the baseline spells, just like magic hand and telekinesis, exorcism, fireball, and just all the barcode spells, and you'll never have to worry about facing her.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if you don't have any kind of unique, or if you don't have magical power at all, she doesn't care. She doesn't want to bother you.
You know, someone once explained to me that you could be the most powerful mage in any kingdom if you just use the create water spell very creatively.
That's true. You know, she reminds me of like a villainous version of Sheila from the D&D cartoon.
Oh, kind of, yeah, with the purple cloak. Yeah.
Bootlegger.
Yeah. Yes.
Bootlegger.
Bootlegger.
See if I can expand that picture, but tell us about this guy.
Bootlegger is a pirate. He was a super soldier program that the U.S. military was trying to create super soldiers. Actually, the U.S. Navy in this case was trying to create a super soldier, and they set him up with all kinds of cybernetics to make him stronger, faster. He can breathe underwater. And he decided basically that he was sick to death of taking orders, especially, things that they would send him off and to get shot at, or his friends would get killed. So he was tired of that, and he decided that he'd set off on his own. So he became a pirate, and now he patrols the waters of the Gulf of Mexico, stealing whatever he wants.
Yeah, like a real pirate, not like he's downloading a video.
No, he's an actual like a ship-to-ship pirate.
Russ, I have been told by good authority that it's exactly the same as stealing a car. Download a video, just
you wouldn't download a car, would you?
Yes, you would. You know what? If I had the option of downloading a car, I might. I'm not saying
Vitriol.
I would. I'm not saying I would, but I'm saying I might.
This is some great art here. I like this.
Yeah, this fellow named David Jackson did the art.
Who's the art? Sorry, I spoke over you.
Sorry. His name is David Jackson. Excellent artist. And Vitriol is a serial killer, an assassin. Well, not an assassin actually. He's a serial killer. He kills for the fun of it, for the pleasure. His entire body secretes acid constantly, so his clothes are sort of always on the verge of melting off of his body. But he will sneak up on people and grab them and let the acid burn them to death. And he's just kind of a psychopath that way. Some of the villains in the book are, they might have a really good reason for doing what they do. Like Bootlegger, you could say, well, Bootlegger is he's rebelling against the military that was trying to use him as a weapon, trying to use him to kill people, and he didn't want to do that anymore. So you're like, okay, well, maybe that's an understandable motive. Vitriol, on the other hand, he has no motive really. He's just a psycho killer. He just wants to see the world burn.
And I have another question from Limey Dragon asking, will there be more location maps?
There are no location maps in this book, but I am definitely planning on putting out more supplements for Blood and Justice, such as I've put out several already. We've put out the Sultan's Treasure. We've put out Boudreaux's Old Cabin, Merciless Hospital, and Princess's Pizza Party. And so those are all great locations around Nocturne, but some of them could be used anywhere.
Okay, cool. Looks like you sent me some new art. Let me get that up. Okay, that is a nice looking piece. Let me share it. So tell us about this lady.
This is Fire Fist. She was another super soldier, but her process kind of went wrong. They managed to get her so that she can ignite on fire. She's sort of like the Human Torch, except she can't turn it off. So she is constantly burning. She can't touch anything. She can't wear clothes, and she's looking for a cure for her condition.
This is not a.
But in the meantime, she's more than.
Is it?
Yeah, she's kind of naked.
Does she still need to eat?
She does not. She is basically a giant living fireball.
Okay.
So she doesn't have to eat. Now, if she is exposed to an environment where there's no oxygen, that will put her out, but only temporarily. As soon as she's in an atmosphere that can burn again, then she lights right back up. So she is constantly looking for a cure for her condition, but in the meantime, she is more hot mama. Yes, she is more than happy to kill anybody who stands in her way of getting her condition cured, especially those scientists who created her. She's killed a number of them because she's kind of pissed at what they did to her.
Has she tried OnlyFans?
What's wrong with you, sir? What's wrong with you?
Sometimes find her luxuriating in a. You can sometimes find her luxuriating in a swimming pool because soaking in water will also extinguish her for a brief period of time.
She could be the hottest of the hot tub girls on Twitch. Just saying.
Wow,
it's not an unheard of idea. When I ran a Marvel game, I had one of my players playing Rogue, and to get through her issues, Rogue was a cam girl.
Nice.
Wow.
So many jokes I could make, but I'm just going to change the subject. Hey, let's look at Day and Dre. Tell us about these characters, please, sir.
Okay, yeah, Day and Dre are twin sisters. They are called the Dark Fae. They are from another universe, another dimension, and they are a couple of tricksters. They like to come to this world and play pranks on people, especially on people who are superpowered, because those are the types of people who are the most fun. In a lot of ways, they're kind of like Superman and Mr. Mxyzptlk. And yeah, Mxyzptlk. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Nobody does.
Mxyzptlk.
Mxyzptlk. When Gilbert Gottfried showed up in the Superman animated series, he broke it down. And that's where I learned to say it.
Okay, so Mxyzptlk.
Jacob could just take my geek card any day of the week and tear it up and light it in front of me because Salute.
Yeah, that's what Day and Dre are. They are elemental spirits, fairies, extremely powerful and extremely mischievous. Not really evil, but they don't really understand that humans are fragile. So they might, drop a car on somebody just because they think it's fun, not realizing that it will actually hurt or kill them.
Somebody needs to get them into a D&D game so they can learn how to play it constructively.
So,
right.
So they're unseelie fae, is what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
I can see them just fine.
Ross.
Are you sure you don't have any kids out there somewhere, Ross? Because you were just dropping the dad jokes.
Yeah, for real. Wow.
So this is some nice art. Who is the artist on this one?
Are you looking at LaDanya?
I believe so. You just mentioned it to me. Yeah.
Queen of yes, the skull-faced Queen of the Dead. She is a reincarnation of the ancient Aztec goddess of death, and she has come to Nocturne to reestablish her worship. So she heads up a death cult, and her servants. Sometimes she blesses them with gifts, making them hard to kill or even unkillable. And she is one of those characters who is an actual god. So one of those characters that you probably, unless you're extremely powerful, you probably don't want to get into a knockdown, drag out fight with her because she is extraordinarily powerful. As the goddess of death, you'd think she would be, definitely.
Yeah, it's hard to fight death, right?
Yeah, she's also very patient though. She's like, I don't need to kill you right now because eventually everybody comes to me. So, except maybe Mr. Crab and Mr. Stab.
Perhaps they have a
Ooh, she
rivalry.
should really want to go after those guys then.
Subplot.
She might, yeah. You never-
Hunt the god of death that hunts down immortals because they deign to evade her.
Look at Jacob and Ross writing your book. That's kind of cool.
Right? Yeah. Well, like I said, each one of these villains comes with at least 3 or 4 plot hooks built into them, so you can run them straight up, just like Day and Dre. You could just they appear and they start causing trouble, and you have to stop them. But then there's a bunch of different plot hooks that kind of will help you dig a little bit deeper into the characters.
Okay, and looking at a guy called Patch right now. Tell us a little bit about him.
Patch is sort of a Frankenstein's monster type character. He is, well, I should say, because they refer to themselves in the plural because they are made of multiple different people. They only want peace. They only want to be left alone. And, but they have a raging temper. So it doesn't matter if like a group of soldiers with guns show up or just a lost hiker happens to stumble on him. He is liable to go into a blind rage and just lash out at everything. And one of the cool things about him is that all of his limbs are, if he gets damaged in any way, he can replace any of his limbs. He can just take the limb off of another dead body and give himself a new arm, a new leg, a new ear, a new eye, whatever he needs.
Does Patch have a special ability where if he steals the body part of a superhero, he gets their superpowers?
That is one of the potential subplots, or one of the potential plot hooks that is built into him. Is if he steals the limbs of a superhero, then maybe he gets their powers.
Okay,
But yeah,
that's wicked cool.
yeah.
That is pretty cool. Well, once again, we've got about 14 days left. Make sure I get that number. Nope, 14 days left. 91 backers so far. You're off to a good start. tinyurl.com/bloodandjustice takes you directly to the Kickstarter page. Please support Bill. This looks like a heck of a fun book. We have played Prowlers and Paragons on this very podcast, and it was just a big, jiggly amount of fun.
Oh yeah,
I would encourage you to check it out. There's if I'm not mistaken, a free quick start you can find on drive-through, and it's a good time. You'll feel good. It's good for your soul. That's what I'm saying. It's I'm not saying it's going to cure cancer. I'm not saying it'll cure cancer. Anyway, you should check it out. You should definitely back Bill's Kickstarter. Any closing thoughts, guys, before we wrap this up?
I was just going to say that the villains actually kind of flesh out the world of Nocturne a little bit, which is really cool. If you've got the book for Nocturne by Welcome to Nocturne, then the villains
Welcome to Nocturne.
Flesh that out. Yeah.
Bill, any closing thoughts?
Yeah. I spent many years creating Nocturne. I've ran multiple games in this world and different heroes fighting different villains. So this is really a long-term labor of love for me, and I'm just excited for people to see it and for it to get out there in the world.
Cool. I hope we helped a little bit. I'm definitely looking forward to this book. This looks like it'll be a lot of fun. Jacob, any closing thoughts?
If you enjoy content like this, please support the Band Patreon podcast. That your financial contributions keeps our lights on and makes sure that we can provide you with wonderful entertainment and amazing, talented people such as us to bring joy to you on your computer screens every week.
That's co-fee.com/Bamfod. Help us out. Covers our server fees and keeps me and Jacob in mint juleps. So check it out.
You've been getting mint juleps without? Is this a rehash of the donut conversation we had? You keep talking about how we get donuts, and I am still donutless.
I've been storing your donuts in an interest-bearing account. When you come to get your donuts, there will be so
You're saying
many
I have to
donuts.
come to Colorado to get my donuts.
We have the best donuts here, and we have other substances that make you want to eat donuts. So
Okay.
it's a great circle of life.
Okay.
You should come to Colorado. You can hang out with Russ. You can hang out with Bill.
Okay.
Hang out with me. It'll be all right.
Okay.
That's right. Yeah.
Post haste.
We should wrap things up because I just lost all of you for a split second just now. So, folks, thanks for tuning in to the Banff podcast. Please check out Bill's Kickstarter and check out Prowlers and Paragons. One last comment from Lemmy Dragon. New villain, Donutless Man. This is Jacob's super villain origin. All right, folks. We'll talk to you later. Thanks a lot.
No donut.